Oh my God, hi. Happy Friday. We're back. We're back for another one. We're back with a banger. We're back to see what is happening, dear viewer, with Diddy. There's just more. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Now the son's involved. The son is implicated. The son looks like he might be going to the Kadia. That means jail in Cape Verdean. I'm putting you guys on the game. I'm putting you on the game. I wanted to start this off really quickly because I think that Diddy's Instagram is the funniest thing after all these lawsuits started coming out, because it's like you just see a bunch of shenanigans. So we're going to start it with something I saw earlier today. Around Halloween, he was a little crazy. He had this whole Batman vibe thing, but watch this.
Clowns.
No,
I heard that.
impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Because I'm a black man.
You can be
I
scared.
have so many other things to be fearful of. A clown is not going to scare me.
Really?
Yes. I'm not afraid of clowns.
But I heard that you were.
All right. Okay, Diddy.
Yeah, I got you.
Was Diddy on the stuff?
Oh, you want to play?
That's why I had to move this. You sat it on top, and I'm like, I had to move that.
You know, I woke up this morning and I said I want my life to be full of surprises. Ellen, I thank you. Thank you.
He wants his life to be full of surprises. I'm sorry, I watched that earlier and I was like, what the hell? The reason why that's funny is because like a few days before, him and his sons were, and I would play it, but you know, YouTube gets a little crazy with the music, right? If I play it, it was like that, the Harlem Shake thing, and he was in a clown outfit. So Ellen was like, hey, are you afraid of clowns? And they had a clown pop up. And it looks like he threatened Ellen a little bit. You never know. You never know. Let's see who we have in the building today, and we will get started looking at the new lawsuit. Shout out to EC, who says, yay. She has entered the chat. She says, won't be able to catch this one, but I'll try to sneak it in at work. Of course, anytime. Hi, Nurse Janice, one of my faves. She says it's going to be 7 p.m. here in the UK. I'm trying to, you guys that are abroad, catch us nice and early in the evening. Everyone else is like working right now, but happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Tyree says happy Friday, AV. He's entered the chat. He's telling you guys to hit that like button. Listen, Lee's taking some time off. You might want to start hitting that like button and becoming a member, because I haven't done it yet. I have not done it yet, but we're getting close, guys. We're getting super close. Shout out to Jackson Jam, who not only just entered the chat, but also became a member. Jackson Jam, thank you so much. Welcome to the community. I know you're going to love it here. I see my fave, Audrey, in the building. She's entered the chat. It's going to be another great one. She says hi to Luna. Yeah, guys, I put a little picture of my dog up on my community tab yesterday. She had the glasses on. Not these ones, but the other ones. You guys loved her and thought she was funny. Sagalina says, AV, watch out for Diddy. Listen, I told you guys that the story broke about 2 weeks ago. I actually need to get a manicure now. I can't wait. But like, I haven't thought about the Cassie complaint in a long time. It's about 35 pages. Lead and I read it back in November. We've been following this case, but in that November complaint that Cassie put out, one of the crazy things that she mentioned was like, obviously there was a lot of SA allegations. But one of the things that she said that Diddy made her do as he was looking for male sex workers for her to get involved in, he would also make her pick a certain color on her nails when she got them done. Since November till now, and I get my nails done every 2 weeks faithfully, I always pick other colors, pink, red, I don't know, like a light blue, very neutral. I stayed away from the color white because Diddy made Cassie get white nails to attend these freak offs. Okay. Why on the day that I decided to I was like, okay, well, nobody's talking about Diddy anymore. I'm just going to try white nail polish. I got my nails done at 9 a.m. The news broke that his house got raided at 12. And I was like, damn it! I'm stuck with freak off nails for 2 weeks. It was so infuriating. So, guys, tomorrow morning, I'm taking this color off and I never want to wear it again. Sagalina, that's the story behind that. E. Capone says, AV getting Luna groomed at a fancy dog boutique. You know what? She's a spoiled little dog. Super spoiled. Shout out to Cody, who's entered the chat. Says, oh snap, sued by a who? We're going to get into it. Cody from Utah has entered the chat. He's letting us know where he's from. All right, I'm saying hi to a few of you guys. Charles says, AV, keep the freak off nails, please. Do you guys like it? Like, do men like freak off nails? Like, do y'all like the color white? Okay, men, do me a favor. Let us know what your favorite color of nail polish is on a woman. Just put the color in right now. I'm curious. If somebody says white, I don't know. I mean, do you guys like it? What is it? What do you guys want? I mean, I'm scarred for life because of white nail polish. What do y'all think? I'm coming to the chat and I'm going to read some supers and then we're going to go straight into this document. Because here's what we also have. I'm going to see y'all colors in a second. We have this. Bam! Tyrone Blackburn, the attorney that represented Lil Rod, is representing another plaintiff in this case. And this time, that plaintiff is alleging that not only Diddy did some things to her, she's also alleging that Diddy's son, Christian, did something to her. So it's getting real for the Combs family. I'm going to jump right into this. Lead and I have been covering it on his side. So at the end of this, I will be putting some links and some cards and things. So if you want to catch up on all things Diddy that we've covered so far, Tyrone Blackburn was one of the attorneys, is the attorney for Lil Rod, but was also in communication with Lead and keeping us updated with documents and has been saying, hey, a lot more is going to be coming out. Y'all are going to want to stay tuned to this because it's going to be a pretty good episode. Before we get started, and I give you a little bit of a briefing on Diddy, we'll get started with that. I also just want to talk about a company that's near and dear to my heart, and that is Chalkboard Candle. Look at that. They made a candle, and that was cute. And it's made for me. I have a collab with them going on right now. Me, AV, right? With that was cute thing. Where does that come from? That's a joke from the Fannie Willis case that we've also been covering. Okay. Now, what is Chalkboard Candle? They're a small company in Minnesota. They have these coconut wax candles that are hand poured. All right. Mother's Day's coming. All of you men and some of you women, you wait to the last minute to get your mother a gift. Using my code, you can get 15% off with a nice ceramic candle. Look at it, ceramic. It's not glass. It's a nice ceramic, and one of my favorite people in the world loves the pipe tobacco scent. So you can get the AV7 candle in that scent, or you can get 15% off site-wide. Why is this important? Because every dollar that you spent goes back to teachers. That's why it's called Chalkboard Candle. I love that. I love spending money for a cause. So before we get started, I'm just going to make sure we light this and get going because I love Chalkboard Candle and I'm doing you guys a favor. I'm saving you time for Mother's Day. Buy it now. Buy it now. All right. Now that we've talked about Chalkboard, I think we should just get right into the content, guys, because there's a lot to go through. We know that Tyrone Blackburn does a really good job at putting information in these documents, but he also includes pictures in these documents. So let's just get right into it. So we have this document, okay? We are in the Superior Court of California in LA. The plaintiff, her name is Grace, and she is suing Christian Combs individually, Sean Combs, John and Jane Doe. So that means that there are people, about 10 of them, that she's naming in here. And there are about, it looks like 1 through 10 ABC corporations. So she is suing Christian, Diddy's son, Diddy himself, a few other people that are not going to be named. So I think that's interesting. And then there are some corporations that she's coming after too. All right. Let's see what they say in here. And I have not looked at this yet. We're doing it blind, guys. This is a blind read because there's always some pictures in Tyrone's complaints. You guys saw the last one. The last one included, pictures of Cuba Gooding Jr. that are going to be burned in our minds forever. Burned in our minds. And going back to colors, Drew Beats likes clear nails. Interesting. Kath likes all nails. Michelle has her new That Was Cute t-shirt. Thank you so much. And good to see you, sis. I'm glad that you like it. Max, you like green nails on women? Like light green or dark green? LT likes natural nails. Cody likes natural nails. Look at Triba del Sol. He likes white nails. He likes freak off nails. Drew B likes clear, and then Willie likes French tips. French tips. G Funk says no nail polish is fine with me. E Capone likes the ratchet nails. The raptor claws, the long joints. That's what E Capone likes. Zach likes red. Vietnamese likes clear. Okay. French tips. All right. You guys are letting me know. You're letting me know what you like. All right. That being said, let's see what Tyrone says, because I have a feeling that this is going to be a banger. All right. The complaint for damages. What is this woman suing for? Couple things. She is suing for 1, assault, 2, battery, 3, SA, 4, premises liability, 5, aiding and abetting, 6, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and 7, negligent infliction of emotional distress. The other thing that I want to point out, and I think we noticed this at the end, they did. Here it is. It's right here. It says that Tyrone Blackburn is representing her pro hac vice pending. What does that mean? Pro hac vice is actually a sophisticated term in the law. I'm going to go show you guys that for a minute, just because pro hac vice is important for you to understand. That means he's not necessarily her counsel yet. Pro hac vice means for or on this occasion only. It's a Latin term. So that also means that he is helping her for the moment, but has not necessarily been retained as her official attorney. Keep that in mind before we go into this document. I know from what he has mentioned to lead that he plans on representing many people aside from Lil Rod. This is the second person that we are seeing that he is representing on the Diddy matter. Okay. So I just wanted to point that out before we keep going. Just know that he is representing her. Most likely it's new. This was filed last week in LA. Okay. And we're going to go from there. So plaintiff Grace is saying that 7 of these things happen. The first person she is suing is Christian Combs, the son, Diddy himself, Jane Doe's, and the corporations. Let's get into it. So Grace is one of the parties. She is a European Caucasian female who worked as a stewardess in the yacht industry since 2018. Okay. Plaintiff, so Grace loved her love of yachting started at an early age and was the foundation on which she had built her career. Through yachting, Grace has traveled the world, met many new friends and colleagues, and enjoyed a very successful career. Through her career, Grace has always worked well in teams and deserved high praises and great feedback from her managers and colleagues. Well, now I'm curious. Now I want to see what Grace looks like. She is apparently an Eastern European woman. Is it Eastern or European? They mention that Grace. Let me take her last name right here. It looks Irish, to be honest, but images. Is this her, Grace? Ooh. Christian King Combs. There's some pictures of her, but I want to be precise. Oh, why am I so tall? Is that her? We have an image of her, guys, but again, yeah, Grace. Okay, we have a picture of her. Entertainment Tonight. People have images of her and they're like sister wives. I'm like, what the hell? This is why it's so important to look at this stuff beforehand and validate it. I was just curious on what she looks like. E.T. has a picture of her. Yeah, I think this is her. Let me just screen share because I wanted to make sure it was right before I showed it to you guys. Let's look. Let's look at what Miss Grace looks like. Window, Chrome tag, Grace. So they have, if you do a Google search on her, there's a few things that come up. This ET one looks like it would be it. It looks just a little bit small, but she looks like she's a blonde woman. Here's another one. It looks like this is her right here. Someone did like a video on it. This is Christian on the left-hand side. This is Diddy. And then Grace is here in the middle. She looks like a young woman, ironically has white nail polish on. That's interesting. But let's get back to the document. I was curious on what she looked like, but let's get back to the document. So Grace is suing them. She worked as a stewardess on a yacht. She traveled the world, met many new friends, and enjoyed a very successful career. Throughout her career, she also worked well on teams and received high praises. She also consistently received exemplary reviews from her clients for her excellent customer service, as well as glowing references over the past few years. Oh, here comes the pictures. Plaintiff has consistently received promotions and never been rejected for any position that she applied for. Why are they telling us that? They're starting us off with letting us know, like, hey, Grace is a good person. She, people love her, like she loves her job, that sort of thing. Prior to being essayed by Christian Combs, plaintiff planned to work the entirety of her career in hospitality and the yachting industry. Unfortunately, those plans have been derailed due to the trauma Christian Combs continues to have as a result of the assault. So as you can see, Tyrone's not playing, guys. Tyrone is not playing, guys. This picture that we are looking at on the screen right now, what is that a picture of? Chat, do you guys know what this is a picture of? I'm going to scroll down and catch up. What is this a picture of? Let us know, chat. We have two of Diddy's sons in this picture. We're looking at Christian, he's looking around. Next to him is his brother. Shout out to Michelle who got it. This is the raid. So this document is fresh. This raid happened a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago. Shout out to Tay who got it as well. Jason says King Combs in cuffs. That's right. Here's King right here. These are department or the Homeland Security officers that came to get them. Homeland Security. Now, when the raid happened, both brothers were home and Diddy was on a plane. So the brothers were home. They were cuffed because when a search warrant is executed, one of the things that happens with this when a search warrant is executed is you need everybody out of the house, right? So both Christian Christian and Dior Combs, like both of these boys had to be cuffed outside while their father was not home, and the houses got raided, both in Miami and both in LA. So we can see how this legal document is starting. Okay, we're seeing it with the pictures. Again, this is not customary. You don't always see pictures in legal documents, but we can see how Tyrone is setting the scene for us. Christian King Combs. Defendant Combs is a 25-year-old auto-tuned and heavily edited rapper. Oh! Damn, Tyrone! He said he is a 25-year-old auto-tuned and heavily edited rapper. Oh my God, we're gonna have to zoom in a little bit. This is gonna be good. This is gonna get good. He said he's auto-tuned and heavily edited. Unfortunately, as the saying has it, the apple does not fall far from the tree. I swear to God, guys, I was gonna name this stream "The Apple Does Not Fall Far from the Tree," and I did not read this. I swear, I am not kidding. Defendant Sean Diddy Combs, who has been accused of several acts of SA, the R word, SV, drugging, among other deplorable conduct, is the father of Christian Combs, who has seemingly taken after his father and the family business of reckless partying, drugging others, SA, and other illegal conduct. Specifically, Christian is the second child of billionaire Combs and his late ex-partner, Kim Porter. Upon information and belief, defendant Christian resides in the city of Beverly Hills, California, and LA County, California. And we have a picture of Diddy. Diddy is a rapper and a record executive, popularly known by his stage names as Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Brother Love, or Love. Shout out to 50 Cent. Defendants Sean Combs became famous in the early 1990s with his record label Bad Boy. He rose to prominence in the music and entertainment industry over the decades and is regularly revered as a hip-hop mogul and top hip-hop rapper producer in the industry. Upon information and belief, Diddy resides in the city of Beverly Hills, LA County, California. During the relevant period, defendants John and Jane Doe's 1 through 10 are currently unknown individuals, that's interesting, or employees who aided and or abetted in the commission and conduct explained of herein, or who either acted within the scope of their employment. Defendants ratified, embraced, and added to this conduct. As parties engage in discovery, plaintiff retains the right to amend the complaint to add these individual employees by name. Okay, so there's a couple of legal things that are going on here. Number one, we know that it looks like, because I said that it was pro hac vice. Why is that? I just remembered that I know that Tyrone is an attorney in New York. If this lawsuit is being bought in California, and if you're not barred there, you do need to make arrangements to sue somebody if you're going to litigate the case for a plaintiff that's in another state and you're not barred there. You have to work through that. So Tyrone is either probably working with counsel on the ground there in California, or he is making arrangements to be able to litigate this case on this plaintiff's behalf. So now it's all starting to make sense. The other thing that you can see that he did here is there are Jane and John Doe's, so 10 people that are not specifically named, but they aided and abetted in the commission of this. We saw this in the Lil Rod complaint, and we also saw this in the Cassie complaint. Sometimes if you need that time to bring people in. You can name them as John and Jane Doe, specifically because these people were employees, it sounds like, of Bad Boy and the Diddy enterprise. So I wanted to explain that real quick. Are we talking about the sugar cookies? You want sugar cookies? I almost bought the little bottles out, you know, the Bad Boy. You remember that? Come out and play. I wanted to do something like that for the stream, but anyway, I'm getting too into character right now. Let's get back to this document. During the relevant period, defendants ABC Corps 1 through 10 are currently unknown entities who employed the plaintiff or aided and abetted in the commission of what happened. Jurisdiction. So he's talking about the jurisdiction. Where can you sue? What state? You know, the venue, all of that stuff. Let's go to the facts. So this happened in July of 2022. Grace was working on Victorious, a super yacht built by Ack Yacht and owned and operated by Fraser. Grace, as a temporary second stewardess for the company, it looks like she was working for a company called Equium. Grace worked in her, so she was a temp for Equium. And in her temporary position for a month on Victorious, then was subsequently offered a permanent position due to her professionalism. So she started as a temp, and then she got her job full time. It says that she had passion for her job and great customer service skills. On or about September 2022, Grace had been part of a dedicated team at the Monaco Boat Show, tasked with selling charters for Victorious to high net worth clients such as Christian and Diddy. In December, Grace and her team were advised that the yacht had been successfully chartered for the 2022 holiday period. Well, that's not a lot of notice. Like you got hired in December, so that means they probably hired you for a holiday party. Grace changed her personal holiday family plans to accommodate the charter service and flew to St. Martin to prepare for the yacht service. Grace soon learned that the client who chartered the yacht were the defendants. Defendants Sean Diddy Combs and his family. Defendants Diddy Combs leased the yacht and had full control over the staff and premises of the yacht. This is building up, guys. You feel it? Although Grace was used to working in discreet and VIP environments, this was one of her first times working with an A-list celebrity. Because of this, Grace and the rest of the team assigned to the yacht were determined to make the holidays special for defendant Sean Diddy Combs and his family. For the duration of the trip, Grace was assigned the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. Oof. That already feels like this just feels like it's going to go off the rails. We're only on line 28. Are y'all ready? Buckle up. Let's keep going. So she's on the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. What happens? This shift, commonly known as a late shift, was very busy. Late shift duties included dinner and drink service for the clients for the entire 12-hour period. Dinner and drink service had to be carried out with minimum staff support or backup during the night shift, since only 2 individuals were assigned. Although Diddy was always typically on the yacht, his sons, Christian and Justin, were staying in a luxury villa nearby, but joined their father aboard the yacht most evenings. Okay, so they weren't staying on the yacht. Diddy was. Diddy leased it. Diddy was staying on it. The boys were staying at a villa. Their lives sound so... Anyway, they were staying at a villa nearby in the Caribbean, but they were not staying on the yacht. During the second week of the charter service, there was a significant amount of partying and drug use, not a surprise, which caused the guests to stay up throughout the night. The makeup of the yacht quickly evolved from just Diddy and his family to include a constant rotation of suspected sex workers and other A-list celebrities we got to turn the page, such as French Montana and actor Cuban Gooding Jr. The plot thickens. French Montana? That's a surprise to me. That's a surprise to me. Guys, I'm going to take a quick super chat break because this is starting to get really good. I can't wait to see who was on that yacht. French Montana? Huh? Wow. Wow. Okay, let's go to some supers. Drew Beats. Thank you so much, Drew Beats. Starts us off with $4.99. He says, look into the Chance the Rapper's divorce, please. Thank you so much, Drew. I'm going to add that to my list. You're not the first person. I've been seeing that in the comments. You guys really want to hear about Chance the Rapper. This is where you need lead. He's the divorce lawyer. It would be amazing to have him co-pilot that with me, but that's okay. I'll look into it and definitely will cover it for you guys. Drew, thank you so much for the super chat. Shout out to Charles Hubbard, who sends a $9.99 super, says, for the freak off nails, keep them please, $10 on it. He's like, I'm investing in your manicure tomorrow. Keep this color. Oh my God, Charles back again with $4.99, says keep them white. Such a turn on. And I've been seeing a lot of white nails lately. Well, you know, it's the power of suggestion. You probably never noticed them before. But now, since we talked about it in this lawsuit, you're going to notice them. So thank you so much, Charles. I will think about it. But yeah, just know I was a little repulsed for a while and did not want to use this nail color. And then I did it and look at what happened. Shout out to LT Harris, who says natural nails, please. I agree. And guys, that's the thing. Like, mine are natural. Like, I don't like it. This is just a very, very hard polish, but these are like my natural nails. And right now I feel like they're long. So that's why I want to go back and get them cut down a little bit shorter and just change the color. So thank you, LT. I really appreciate the $20 super. And he's talking about his preference. He's like, natural, keep them natural. Shout out to Audrey, one of my faves, who says, let's go. Let's go, Audrey. I mean, what do you guys think so far of what we're seeing? This story seems like it's going to go off the rails. It really does. Shout out to Dianara, one of my faves. She says $4.99. She says, AV7, don't let Diddy enter your headspace about your nails. Well, I mean, how do you not? Like, I loved white nail polish before, especially in the summer. It's amazing. It looks great with like every outfit. But he did enter my headspace. You are absolutely right, Dianara. Too funny. Shout out to D. James. DW says, happy Friday, AV. You will make my rainy day and weekend full of sunshine. Much love from Detroit. I'm happy that happens for you. And that's honestly like what I try to do for you guys is bring you some sun, bring you some legal education, but also a place in a community where you can come and hang out on a Friday and talk about the legal shenanigans. Shout out to CP Jones with the 20, says testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3, checking to see if this works because I'm not familiar with the platform. CPT, welcome to YouTube. What you just dropped is called the super chat. And whenever you want to support your favorite creators or make a comment, we get a lot of comments, as you can see. Like, there's so many people in the comments over here. Shout out to Kiara. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Up One. What happens is your chat will be highlighted in a color, and it will give us attention because there's 300 people in here. Let's say there were like 5,000, and you wanted your comment to stand out. That's what super chats are. But CPT Jones, thank you for sending $20. And look, I read it. So it works. It works, right? I hope that was a nice little lesson on how super chats work. But let's get back to the content, guys, because this is starting to get good. So we know French Montana and Cuba Gooding Jr. Again, he was in the Lil Rod scenario, the Lil Rod lawsuit. He's also on this yacht too. So let's see what happens. It says Diddy turned what was sold as a wholesome family excursion to a hedonistic environment. A hedonistic environment. Oh my God. Buckle up, y'all. According to Grace, it resulted in an unexpected increase in workload for her and her colleagues, as well as unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, S work, and general chaos. God damn. Chaos? Oh, I wonder what chaos she's talking about. Chaos. This is interesting legal writing, but let's keep going. It also created an extremely hazardous environment. For example, guests often demanded drink service until 6 a.m. Staff was often treated with disrespect. Suspected sex workers were sprawled out, unconscious about the yacht. Sprawled out. Imagine working in that type of environment. People are like, hey, let me get a Bloody Mary. It's 5 a.m. And then you go get their Bloody Mary, put it on a tray, and you go and try to bring it to them. And you're stepping over sprawled out sex workers. Oh, and it was difficult to distinguish which bottles of alcohol were laced with drugs and which bottles were not. Oh my God, this is just so... It is important to note that as a bartender, Grace understands the impact of alcohol and the likelihood a person would not generally become intoxicated following one mixed drink. Because of this, plaintiff found it very suspicious that after one shot of Don Leon tequila or one mixed drink, various women on the yacht would be falling over themselves, panicking, or passing out. Oh my God. This led plaintiff to reasonably believe that the alcohol given to these women was likely laced with drugs. Man, oh man. So, Grace, the plaintiff in this lawsuit, seems to be a bartender. So that was probably the job that she was doing on the yacht, is bringing people drinks from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., the late shift. There are sex workers literally on the ground all over this yacht. Oh my God. But what she is saying here is that something suspicious was happening because there were bottles everywhere. But they had to be, and I don't think it was her, because she would be liable under the service that she worked for if they put the drinks, drugs inside of the drinks and laced them. So allegedly what she's saying here is that it was hard to determine what was laced and what was not. But she is saying that someone in Diddy's eco environment was lacing these bottles because people would have, or the women would have, one drink, and then all of a sudden they're wilding out. They're falling, they're stumbling over themselves, they're panicking, they're passing out. This is crazy. It's supposed to be a friendly holiday yacht party, but like they didn't just lease it for one party. Diddy leased this yacht for like the holiday season. So he had more than one party. Oh my gosh. Let's go to 37. Plaintiff Grace was aware that Rodney Jones, aka Lil Rod, a producer who was employed to work on the Love album, was required to be on standby for musical recordings, often late into the night. The Love album, Off the Grid, is the 5th studio album by American rapper and record producer Diddy Combs, released on September 15th, 2023. Lil Rod was accepted as an extended member of the service staff and spent time with Grace at the service bar and piano room where he played the piano. On or about the early morning of December 28th, 2022, so we are now post-Christmas, the evening shift started as normal. at about 5 a.m. Grace was messaged on the on-duty phone that defendant Christian Combs would be joining the yacht by tender, a small craft that runs back and forth from the larger yacht and used for servicing and providing support and entertainment to a private or charter yacht. So, defendant Christian wanted to be bought over to the bigger yacht, Victorious, to record in the yacht's makeshift recording studio with Mr. Jones. I love that it says makeshift. Because what they're saying here is like, okay, Diddy rented the yacht, but not only were there parties happening on the yacht, they made a little makeshift recording studio. I think I remember this now because when we were looking at the other document, Lead and I, we were looking at it and we saw a picture of Cuba Gooding Jr. and a picture of Lil Rod. And, we were looking at how weird it looked when Cuba, let me take this down for a second, when Cuba had his arm around Lil Rod and like holding his thighs, like, what do you, what's up, Lil Rod? Like, there's a little strange. But if you look at the background of that image, what we didn't pick up on is that Lil Rod was looking at a computer screen and smiling because, it looked like an uncomfortable smile, but it looked like he was working on something. And Cuba looked a little, little lit. So I think what we can deduce from this is Lil Rod was actually there to work and to actually do recording and to actually produce this album. It seemed like they were working on the Love album, right? So that's something to talk about. But let's go back in. So they have this makeshift studio on the boat. Although it was not unheard of for Christian Combs to come aboard at such a late hour, he usually stayed at his dwelling offshore overnight, particularly when there was no party aboard on any given night. Why are they telling us this? They're trying to tell us what Christian's patterns are. Is he always on board? Or is he only on board for a reason? Is that specific reason partying? Looks like it is. Looks like it is. Defendant Christian Combs arrived in the tender and was heavily intoxicated. Remember, this is 5 a.m., guys. Grace suspected that Christian was intoxicated from a mixture of narcotics and alcohol. It's a suspicion. We don't know. Upon entering the recording studio, Christian immediately started ordering that tequila shots be poured from the bottle of alcohol he may have bought onto the yacht. Ironically, Christian was... Oh my God. Cassie, I feel bad now. I'm going to read it. Cassie, I feel so bad. Let's read it. Shout out. I don't even want to make fun of freak off nails anymore. This is not okay. Ironically, Christian was playing Cassie's Me and You in the background. Cassie was an artist under Diddy and his former love interest, who also accused Combs of serious SA and mental abuse. In the studio, Christian asked Grace to bring shots to the recording studio sun deck, and Grace obliged as she was the only serving steward at the time. Oh, poor girl. Grace noticed immediately that he was particularly attentive with her, which she considered very inappropriate. However, Grace began to become concerned when Christian insisted that she take shots of tequila he may have bought on board the yacht. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit of a concern. She's a bartender. She's bringing everybody drinks. Christian says, bring everybody shots. But he also pulls out this magic bottle. Who's drinking out of that? He brings his own bottle to a place that has alcohol for days. Your dad has a super yacht. Your dad rented a super yacht. You guys can get food and drinks unlimited from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You're getting on this super yacht at 5 a.m. It seems like you're a little twisted at this time. But why would you bring your own bottle? That's already suspicious. You see how like a jury would interpret this? Like magic bottles? Let's go back in. And we're only on page 7. This is starting to get crazy. So Grace got concerned because Christian insisted she take shots of the tequila he may have bought on board the yacht. Under pressure and wanting to be polite, Grace did it. I would never drink out of that bottle. Prior to this, Grace witnessed Diddy create a Black Santa video, which showed him demanding the captain, various head of departments, and crew take a shot of tequila with him. Listen, what did Cat Williams say? When Diddy wants to party with you, you have to say no. Oh my gosh. This is interesting. And shout out to Winter. Thank you so much for this comment, Winter. So as we all read this, let's pay attention to Winter and what she's saying. She says, hey, hi, AV, great coverage, but be careful. Tyrone sent this info to academics too and other blogs with the song, which was AI generated. A lot of lies in the documents. Tyrone did this with T.I., Tiny, Puff, and Nicki. Yeah, thank you so much for saying that, Winter. What I will tell you guys before we continue is just from a legal perspective. I've been studying this stuff for 8 years, getting ready to take the bar exam. And all of these books back here, they're filled with what? Cases. I still have access to Westlaw. That is filled with what? Cases. Thousands and thousands of case transcripts and documents from across the United States. I can have access to any state's, whatever is filed online. I could pull it. In the thousands of legal documents that I've seen in my entire life, I have never seen legal documents that include pictures. So I will say that. No shade to Tyrone. It looks like he's an actual barred attorney in New York. But I will say that I have not seen them myself, right? I have not seen pictures included in complaints before. So I did think that was a little strange, but thank you, Winter. But we're going to read it. I mean, it's out there. This is highly publicized. This is a public record. This is a public document. So if there's issues with the document, the courts can take that up. But as far as right now, I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep reading. We're going to keep going. All right. So as this is the pattern established by the captain of the yacht and the defendants, Diddy, plaintiff felt comfortable knowing that Lil Rod was present and didn't think anything more of it. She felt that she would take one shot and he would let her return to the pantry. So Grace thought that if she took a shot, Christian would leave her alone. According to the plaintiff at this point, the mood changed and things became sinister. Ooh. Christian insisted that Grace stay chatting and sit beside him. Grace resisted and remained polite, asking to leave. Christian became aggressive and insisted that Grace take a further shot and sit beside him. At this point, Christian violently grabbed plaintiff's arm and began hurting her. He pulled Grace to the seat beside him and prevented her from getting up. Plaintiff insisted that she had to return to the pantry, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. Angered, Christian forced plaintiff to take another shot. Grace was scared and realized she was in a very dangerous situation. Grace, who was also feeling the effect of the tequila shots, quickly suspected that the tequila was spiked. At this point, the situation escalated. Grace started to be physically assaulted. But what? Hang on. So she's hanging out. Defendant C. Combs is Christian. She realizes she was in a bad situation. So 53, 54, 55. Notice this escalation in 55. She says that the situation escalated and she was assaulted by Diddy now. S. Combs instead of C. Combs. Where did Diddy come from in this? I don't see him here in the way that this is described. The last time that we talk about Diddy was on line 48. And she talks about Diddy on line 48 when they say that he was doing the Black Santa video. But then they get into us talking about, this is strange. I don't like how this is. There's something wrong with the sequence of events. This is also what I was talking about, guys. Like in legal documents, you need to be very clear about what happened, how it happened, because in a complaint, when you're suing somebody, you need to outline everything that happened in sequential order. I can already see there's an issue right there with how that happened. So if you're a defense attorney, damn, I'm already out here giving the game. I'm already out here giving the game. I don't think it's a typo, Laura. I don't think it's a typo at all. I think that that is a sequential issue. It doesn't feel right. I don't know about you guys. I don't know. The alarm bells in my mind are going off with that. Let's keep going. Thanks, Laura, by the way. Let's go back to that. So she's starting to feel the effect of the tequila shots, and she thought that it was spiked. Now, she said that she was being assaulted by Diddy. He touched her legs, her breasts, her anus, and her vajay. He also tried to kiss her and proceeded to touch her neck, face, and hands. The timeline at this point is very blurry and vague to Grace, as she does not recall exactly what happened to her due to the spiked tequila shots. Luckily for Grace, due to Diddy's instance on Mr. Jones recording everything, Mr. Jones has an audio recording of Christian drugging and essaying her. Below is a transcript of the recording forcing Grace to consume the lace shots of Don Leon tequila. Ooh, okay. Audio 1. Yo, it's the shot clock. That's what Christian says. Grace, no, I'm not doing shots. Christian says, everybody, we got to take a shot. Okay, that's the first audio recording. Audio 2. Grace, I'll just put the ledge. Christian, no, take the whole thing. Grace, no, you will take it as well. Christian, take the whole shot. Grace, I'm only doing it as long as you take it as well. Christian, I ain't going to lie. I'm not taking nothing. Please take the shot. Grace, are you drugging me? Oh my God. Christian, take the shot. Hey, yo, play another beat one time, because now below is a transcript of Christian's essay of the plaintiff. Oh my God, do I have to read this? The fact that Cassie's Me and You is playing in the background is so sickening. If this is true, this is so bad. Oh my God, I can't believe I have to read this to you guys. Ew. All right. Cassie's Me and You song is playing in the back. Grace says, this is not an offer. Christian says, you said what? Grace says, I can't. I'm swamping out. I can't do it. I'm sorry, darling. Christian says, nah, we need you. Grace says, I'm going to stop. Stop. I have to go. I have to go. Honestly, I'm like already losing sleep. I have to go now. Christian says, you're the best one on this ship, though. Grace says, what do you mean? Christian says, who's going to replace you? Grace says, who's going to replace me? Christian says, fuck that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? And then Grace says, excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. Grace says, if I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that. Christian says, listen, you and everybody in the crew, it's great. Grace says, I can't. I have to go down. I have to go down. What? Christian says, no. Yo, tell me, listen. Grace says, what? Christian says, like, say you're just vibing with me the whole time. Grace says, I can't. I promise you, I wish I could, but I can't. Unless I say that you guys requested me. What? Oh my God. I just pulled out the headphones. That's how crazy this is. Christian says, yes, who can I talk to right now? Who can I talk to? I'm just going to say I requested you right now. Grace says, well, you can take your hand off my ass for the first thing. Wow. Well, I think on that note, before it gets a little crazy, you're just going to pop into the super chats and make sure that I'm all caught up. Shout out to my miracle mama. Hi, my miracle mama. I haven't seen you in forever. She says, hi, AV. You're looking gorgeous as ever. This lawsuit, oy, oy, oy. I mean, I'm struggling reading it. I'm struggling. Shout out to CP, who's back with another 20. CP, thank you. Says, thanks for teaching an old dog new tricks, AV. Keep up the good work. Captain Jones. All right, Captain Jones. We have a Captain Teach in the community, but we got a Captain Jones too, and that is the cutest dog ever. Thank you so much, Captain Jones. Love it. Shout out to Audrey, who says, the boys were getting workers to bring a boy. Like, yeah, what is that? That whole conversation was weird. And then towards the end, when she's just like, I have to say that you requested me. What was that? And then she's like, don't touch me in these areas. Like, why is she saying that she needed to be requested? Right, Tay? Like, what was that? I don't... I am a little disheveled, just 7. I'm like, what is happening here? I don't understand, but we're going to try to figure it out. It continues. We're on page 10. Let's go back in, guys, to see what was happening, because it is a little strange. It is a little strange. Okay. So, according to Grace, she said she would have to be requested because she knew anyone of authority who would approve the request was asleep. Christian would not have been able to contact them, and Grace could then leave. After being assaulted in the recording studio, Grace attempted to resume her duties for that night. That is such an interesting situation. You get essayed, man or woman, whatever, like you get violated. It's hard because you're on a boat, so you can't necessarily escape. I would not go back to work. What does she do? How do you go back to work? How do you just... I would find a corner, lock myself in there until we are back on land. Barricade the door. Barricade the door. She went back to work? I mean, shout out to Kiana, who says, I'm swimming to shore. I'm not going back. Right. Why would you go back to work? Exactly, Kiana. Like, you will not. Or become fish bait. I mean, that's a good point, Nova. Call the Coast Guard. I need to take another break. This one is hard, but honestly, I want to thank somebody that I just saw enter the chat and drop a super Hi, Value Man. Hi. Thank you so much for the $100 super chat. And I want to sincerely apologize for missing this yesterday because I believe you left one yesterday as well. So I am actually going to, of course, dub you as the stream sponsor for today, but I'm going to put you in for 200 because of that misstep on my end yesterday. And I've been dying to say this word to you because it's the only Russian word that I know. Spasiba. Thank you so much. Spasiba. And I think, if you Google it, spasibo means thank you in Russian. If you guys don't know, High Value Man is a huge supporter of me and the lead attorney. And whenever we live stream on lead side, he is always there supporting us. The other day, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had an opportunity to meet him. He came up on the panel and we had an opportunity to learn more about him and talk to him. Nice guy, nicest guy ever. But we, leads asking his probing questions, of course. And he's like, High Value Man, where do you live? You're in Washington. What do you do? There's Native American reserves. You speak Russian. You're in technology. Are you the feds? The plot thickens. The plot thickens. So we've had our eye on you, but High Value Man, thank you so much. I cannot tell you how much it means that you support me on my side. It's hard because, I'm a lot smaller than Lead and I'm trying to grow this channel. He has given me all the keys to the castle to be able to do this, all the knowledge to be able to do this, and I've been learning for 2 years. So when people like you support me, when people like all of you guys support me, it means a lot. But when people step out of the frame like this, you guys almost had me in tears last week, especially you, High Value Man. Like you almost had me in tears last week. It was you and Viva. Just talking about the work ethic and not to give up and to keep going. So thank you. Like, I'm not going to do it again, but look at you. He just dropped $100 super again, guys. He wants to make me cry. He's like, no need to apologize, AVN. Oh, I know this word means you're welcome, but I don't know how to pronounce it. If you guys can type in High Value Man in the chat, that would be amazing. HVM. Type HVM in the chat right now. Do it, please. So HVM, I'm going to put you in for 300 as a stream sponsor. Again, thank you. You don't have to do this stuff, but when you do, I just feel incredibly valued. And like yesterday, you missed it. I made like a huge blunderous mistake in the stream. Like I was like showing them for some fanny stuff and it was like muted the whole time. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. But, people like you guys like really let me know like, hey, it's okay. You make mistakes. You're going to get better. So thank you guys for shouting out High Value Man. Incredible person. You do not have to support the content creators that you do, but I'm just so happy that you do support me and Lead, and you have no idea what it means to a tiny content creator. So thank you guys so much for shouting out High Value Man. And I'm so happy that you're here. Okay, are you guys ready to go back into the debauchery? Let's dive back in. Let's go. Thank you again, High Value Man. I'm going to put us over here so we can read this a little bit better. Okay, so she was assaulted, right? Grace was assaulted and she went back to work, okay? She made her way to the pantry where she met another steward who was assigned to take over the shift. Her colleague recognized that the plaintiff was visibly intoxicated, in shock, and tried to finish the shift. Shortly after returning to the pantry, Christian called for Grace. He looked for her and demanded that she find him a place to sleep on the yacht. At such a late hour of night, there were no spare cabins for Christian. Despite this, he refused to go back to shore. The most acceptable place for him to sleep that night was in the cinema. So they must have had like a little movie theater. Plaintiff directed him to the cinema, which was commonly used as an extra sleeping area. How many people do they have on this yacht? Like, how many do you have? If you have to use the movie theater as an extra place for people to sleep, like, how many people are you inviting on this yacht? Oh my goodness. This is crazy, guys. This whole story is incredibly crazy. So anywho, Christian decides to sleep in the cinema. It has one door to exit and enter. Grace entered the room, and Christian was blocking her from exiting. Grace retreated to a corner of the room, and Christian became physical and extremely aggressive. He cornered Grace and started to grope her. Grace pushed him back constantly. Christian then took off all his clothes. Oh my God. Oh, his penis was erect. It was hard. And he grabbed her arms and was trying to force Grace to perform. Wow. He tried to force Grace to suck him off. Grace began fighting Christian. And not long after, her partner on board entered the cinema, and this startled Christian, and Grace was finally able to leave. Ew. Grace's partner became concerned when looking for Grace after she had not returned to her room after her shift had ended. The morning after, Grace complained to the yacht's captain, Peter Milkov. That sounds Russian, right? High value man, a little bit, right? Captain Milkov berated Grace. He lacked compassion or concern, failed to investigate, and insisted that the plaintiff was probably voluntarily partying with the guest. She was not. Captain Milkov added insult to injury by assigning Grace to work in front of the house, which required personally serving Christian while they were on the yacht. Grace was not provided an option to be isolated nor have to serve Christian. Grace was 25 years old at the time of the attack. Based on information and belief, Diddy's employees, including his drug mule Brandon Paul, here we go, his chief of staff KK, and his second in line Frankie Santella, learned of what occurred and informed Diddy. Shortly after, Captain Milkov received a generous tip from Diddy in order to keep Captain Milkov quiet and keep him from protecting Grace or taking action on her behalf. Only a few members of the ship's staff were required to write statements. Grace and her partner were the only two staff members not interviewed and not asked to write a statement. Wow, the plot thickens so much. So in this complaint, she alleges that not only did Diddy assault her, Christian was, he showed up to a yacht party with his own liquor, his own bottle. Who knows what's in there? The girl is a bartender and bringing food and drinks to everybody from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. She's working this night shift. In this hour that Christian was on this boat, allegedly, I'm trying to figure out how Diddy assaulted her. It just says that she was assaulted and he like touched her or whatever. My thing is like, after that happens, you go back to work. So Diddy's doing all this offensive touching, this unwelcome touching. Then the son's like, I need a place to sleep, Christian. And she's just like, oh, you can sleep in this movie theater. And you guys are in a room. He corners her and just strips and gets undressed. And then another worker comes in and is like, what the hell's going on? This story is so weird. It is so weird. It is so weird. I'm going to keep going on the supers because look, High value man again with $100 super says we're all human and you'll always have my support. Thank you so much, high value man. I'm gonna need it right now because this story is so out of this world. I'm trying to stay calm and get through it. But thank you. I'm so happy to have your support. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you're having a great Friday. I'm going to just make sure I have these numbers right. I'm counting yesterday. I think you're up. Are you up to 400 now? Are you? You could be. Let me double check. 1, 2. No, I had it right. I had it right. Thank you so much, high value man. I appreciate you. You have no idea. Like this is usually I have lead soundboard to hide behind. Like we could just hit the burr, burr, burr. Like we could hit that and, go from there and break up these awkward moments with some of these allegations. But wow. Okay. Let's dive back in for a little bit more. All right, guys. So with this, as a result of the essay, Grace has suffered. Oh, there's pictures. There's pictures, guys. Here we go. Below are the images of her bruises because of Christians violently grabbing her and attempting her to force to set him off. There is her arm. There's a bruise there. Okay. There's also a strange tattoo, but she has a bruise on her forearm. Okay. And then I think this is the same arm because that's where the tattoo is. It looks like it's the same arm, but maybe a day or two after because the bruise, there's now 2 and they look a little bit darker than before. Okay. Same one. All right. So we got 3 pictures, pages 12, 13, and 14. All right. 78. According to Grace, the past year, 2023, has been the most deeply traumatizing time for her life. Christian's assault and the subsequent cover-up orchestrated by Diddy and his staff, Grace was isolated and retaliated against on the yacht. This isolation and retaliation finally resulted in Grace's termination by Captain Peter Milkoff on or around May 10th. So if this all happened in December, it looks like she lost her job in May. So she still worked on the yacht for about 6 months before she was ultimately let go. Let's keep going. You know what? I do have those amounts wrong. Sorry, I just noticed high value man. I'm just correcting that. I had those amounts wrong. Okay. Let's go back into this. In addition to losing her employment, Grace also lost her longtime partner. Oh my God, she had a boyfriend with whom she had planned a future. Grace's partner was never the same after seeing the bruises on her body because of Christian Combs and having to deal with the mental and emotional ramifications, so they separated. All right, hold on. If somebody breaks, like I get it, like breakups are not fun. Trust me, they are not. But if as a result of something happening, I get it. There's a lot of emotional turmoil, but can you sue the person that essayed you for your partner leaving you because they weren't comfortable with what happened? Is there monetary value on a relationship breakup? I don't know if there is. I don't know if there is legally, at least legally. That's insane. I don't think I've ever seen that in a legal document before. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. And again, thank you so much, High Value Man. Again, guys, if y'all could just type in High Value Man in the chat, it would mean the absolute world to me. He's such a great brother, and he is sponsoring the debauchery that we are reading right now. He is sponsoring that. Type in HVM, please. Okay. Grace's mental health deteriorated to the point that she was medicated and required intensive therapy. Additionally, she fell into a deep depression and was unable to fully carry out her maid of honor duties at a wedding of her only sister in June of 2023. She had been looking forward to doing that for 18 months. All right. What is Tyrone? I see it. I see the play. This is what Tyrone is trying to show. There is a concept in the law called intentional infliction of emotional distress, where even if that is the case, you have to talk about how somebody was emotionally disturbed following events that had happened. Okay. You might have read that the way I would have without having like a legal mind, like, okay, come on. You couldn't go to a wedding. Your boyfriend broke up with you. The way that Tyrone is painting this, it is because of an intentional infliction of emotional distress. Keep that in mind. That's why we're seeing it. It's not just like, oh, all of these things happened after the assault. It is in order to get that remedy for Grace. If she were to be successful on these claims, he has to do it that way. All right. So I just wanted to take a moment to explain that to you guys. Plaintiff's anxiety and panic attacks prevented her from securing another job in the yachting industry in 2023. See, now we're on the third thing. I lost my boyfriend, wasn't able to go to my sister's wedding, lost another job. Grace develops a severe eating disorder. Okay. As a result of the attack, due to the shame and mental warfare she was experiencing that affected her body image and appetite. On several occasions, Christian Combs' essay led Grace to have severe thoughts of deletion. In addition, Grace's trauma, her physical health began to deteriorate. Grace had several epileptic seizures. The seizures resulted in Grace losing her ability to privately do things she was accustomed to doing alone. Grace now requires supervision to do basic activities like swimming, bathing, and is not required to inform people in public places that she is epileptic and requires supervision. Man, that's tough. All right. Now, we go to premises liability, aiding and abetting for Diddy. So this is like, all right, Diddy, here's what you're responsible for. So, according to Grace, Diddy chartered the yacht and assumed responsibility for the actions of himself, his guests, and his family. Upon information and belief, Diddy fostered and encouraged an environment of debauchery. Oh my God, guys, that's like my word. I love the word debauchery. It makes me so happy. I don't know why. I just thought that the word debauchery has always been funny to me. It's in this legal document too. Look, debauchery. There was always a party atmosphere filled with suspected sex workers, suspected laced alcohol, violence, and sheer disrespect of women and the yacht's crew. Upon information and belief, Diddy did not have safeguards in place to ensure there was no excessive drug use. Well, why would he? I mean, he likes it. He engages in it. No excessive drinking and no importation of purported sex workers. Diddy's apparent failure to ensure that there was a safe environment on the yacht was intentional. On one occasion, KK, the defendant's chief of staff, instructed Grace to ensure that the entire bar area was stocked with De Leon tequila and Ciroc. It was important for Diddy to be surrounded by these bottles, not just any bottles. De Leon was important and Ciroc was important. Those bottles needed to be there at all times. KK's like, everybody, the Prada things, the little Prada pouches, but the other thing that needs to be here is Ciroc and De Leon. Those are his drinks. Chief of staff, she's doing her job. She is doing her job. On this occasion, Diddy was visibly intoxicated. Grace is unsure if he was high from drugs, alcohol, or both. It is likely both. Out of nowhere, KK quickly approached Grace and ordered her to remove all the Ciroc and De Leon bottles. She was informed that Redacted 1 and Redacted 2 were boarding the yacht. Oh, the plot thickens, guys. Who is Redacted 1 and Redacted 2? What does that mean? Let me scroll down. Oh, okay. Going to the footnotes. Who are those people? Redacted 1 is a famous female comedian. Redacted 2 is the wife of a famous comedian and founder of a New York-based charity. So here's what KK does. KK knows that these people are coming. KK goes, Grace, hide all the Ciroc, hide all the mysterious bottles, hide them all. Grace, hide them now. Put them away. Who is a female comedian that Diddy would hide Ciroc bottles and De Leon from? Oh, Brian. Was it Ellen? Brian, was it Ellen? If it was Ellen and I started the stream with Ellen, I was correct. I don't know. We don't know, guys. We don't know, Flux. We don't know, Tyrell. Imagine. Ooh, Nova. What if it was Whoopi? What if it was Whoopi because of The View? Everybody's like Wanda or Ellen. Ellen. I started the stream with that clip of Ellen DeGeneres. Because why would he hide it? Allegedly is correct, Ron. We don't know. Because the fact is, when you have a legal document and if you need to redact somebody's name, that means number one, it is highly, highly a protected name. And number two, if you're going to put somebody's name in a legal document, you're roping them in. In this context, I think that what Tyrone is trying to do here is he's trying to show, hey, when this celebrity and that person's wife came on, for some reason, look at Diddy's behavior. Okay. Anywho, so when they were boarding the yacht, KK said, hide everything. At that point, Diddy exited the room. Famous comedian and the wife entered the room, and Diddy returned sober, holding his newborn daughter. What? This all occurred within less than an hour. This paragraph is not okay. All right. I have such a problem with this. Okay, so they're talking about, let's go back up to line 87. Rereading, because I think she said that Diddy was lit. And now she's saying that he is not lit. He didn't have any safeguards in place. He didn't keep a safe environment. Okay, it doesn't say that okay, yeah, 90. Plaintiff is unsure if he was high from drugs, alcohol, or both. Out of nowhere, KK approached Grace and ordered her to remove everything. Okay, so Grace is not sure if he was high from drugs, alcohol, or both. When she heard that these people were boarding the boat, he returned sober. There's a problem with that statement, though, because if you're unsure if somebody is high from drugs or alcohol or both, and then you're alleging that they're also returning sober, were they in the first place? So it's just it's a small nuance. But in less than an hour, I mean, whether you're high on drugs or alcohol, I don't know if you can sober up within an hour. I don't have much experience on the drugs part. But if you're lit, I mean, can you sober up in an hour? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Chat, let me know what you think about that. This incident led Grace to believe that Diddy knew right from wrong. And and had the ability and the wherewithal to determine that the environment on the yacht was safe. He intentionally created an unsafe environment that gave license to Christian to believe that he was free to essay grace. Diddy allowed Christian and his friends to behave carelessly as they observed and mimicked his actions. According to Grace, on many occasions, she witnessed young girls visiting the boat, stay for less than 30 minutes in a cabin with a guest, and leave. This led Grace to believe these girls were sex workers. According to Grace, Diddy routinely engaged in and encouraged open, illegal drug use while on the yacht. On several occasions, Grace witnessed Diddy smoking pot while receiving services from yacht's crew members. Oh my God. He would not allow them to leave as he smoked. And as a result, several crew members had contact high. According to Grace, in another incident, Diddy had several women who Grace suspected of being sex workers on the yacht. On one incident, a girl was extremely upset and ran to the lower deck, locked herself in the massage room, and was hysterically crying. She said she did not feel safe and wanted to leave. The crew was alerted at this time. At this time, Sarah Chapman, one of Diddy's baby's mamas, was due to have a massage. So Grace had to attempt to remove this young woman from the massage room, but she was very reluctant as she felt unsafe. Eventually, she left. According to Grace, on another occasion, oh my goodness, this is just getting worse and worse and worse. Christian lost a large bag of pot and required the crew to search the yacht for it. You can't make this up. These rich people. Hey, I've lost my pot. Can you guys go and find it? Oh my God, you can't make this up. You just can't. Anywho, according to Grace, on another occasion, while Hulu was filming, Diddy and his friends, including Young Miami, they were playing a game called Carisha Please. Carisha Please. Diddy was dared to expose himself. At that point, Diddy stood up, pulled down his pants, shout out to Wendy Williams, and exposed his penis. Grace was standing beside the table and heard the commotion. Diddy's mother was sitting beside him. I can't. Why are y'all doing this to me? I can't do this. What type of debauchery? This is the same mama that Diddy smacked. You're gonna do that in front of your mother? I've never had a hard time reading a legal document. Janelle, we gotta go back. Janelle, oh my God, Janelle. I'm not making it up. It's right here. I'm going to read that whole paragraph one more time for the cheap seats in the back. Oh, this is not funny, but I cannot. According to Grace, on another occasion, while Hulu was filming, Diddy and his friends, including Young Miami, were playing a game called Carisha Please. Diddy was there to expose himself. At that point, Diddy stood up, pulled down his pants, and exposed his penis. Grace was standing next to the table and heard the commotion. Diddy's mother was sitting beside him. Grace returned to the pantry and refused to stand by outside of the pantry for the duration of that service period. Diddy's wild guy. I don't even know what to say here. According to Grace, oh my God, there's more. On another occasion during New Year's Eve, Diddy had guests who stayed until late afternoon the next day. A fight broke out between Justin Combs' friends. They physically assaulted each other and walked around the boat topless, screaming. Grace and the crew felt very uneasy in this environment. And that's the thing. You work on a boat, and Diddy rented the boat for the month, for the holidays. This was during the holidays. This was just for like 3 weeks. All of this happened. Oh my God. Oh, it's not funny. All of this happened in a span of 3 weeks. I swear, guys, I am not laughing because it's funny. I'm not laughing at what happened to Grace. I'm laughing at the ridiculousness of what happened in a span of 3 weeks, that all of this occurred in 3 weeks. Oh, there's more. At one point, one of the defendant's guests shoved Grace's chief steward on the stairs and threw an object across the bar. Ugh. According to Grace, on another occasion, she witnessed an argument between a woman and a man. The man was upset and proceeded to physically assault her. According to Grace, Diddy's assistant, KK, noted the drug mule, Brandon Paul, once came down to the pantry and was laughing uncontrollably. He told Grace he had to sit down and watch Diddy have sex with multiple women. Oh my God. He said Diddy wanted him present just in case he needed him to get him something while he was in the middle of the act. Something like drugs? Okay. Diddy questioned why Brandon would want to work. Okay, Grace questioned Brandon. She said, Brandon, why would you want to work for Diddy if he was required to do such things? And Brandon replied that Diddy was a good link to have in the industry. I mean, you got to watch him do this stuff. Oh my God. According to Grace, when Diddy chartered the yacht, she witnessed and served several A-list guests on board, including rappers. Oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Cuba Gooding Jr. There's 5 rappers. Let's go to the bottom. Let's see who they are. Okay. Oh my gosh, here they are. One rapper is a Do you guys want to play Guess Who? Guess who redacted number 3 is? Redacted number 3 is a Philadelphia rapper. Guess. Redacted number 4 is a 30-year-old Atlanta rapper who rose to prominence following the release of his 2017 mixtapes. Guess who redacted number 4 is? Redacted 5 is a 25-year-old British rapper. Let me know who you guys think that is. Redacted 6 is a Moroccan rapper signed to Bad Boy Records and Maybach Music Group. Woo! And Redacted 7 is a former model and CEO of a female urban clothing brand. Put your guesses in now, guys. Who are these rappers? Who are they? Who are they? Let's play Guess Who. Let's play Guess Who. Tay says Meek is in there somewhere. I mean, isn't Meek from Philadelphia? Somebody said, we know that ain't Beanie Siegel. Somebody says Jay-Z. 21 Savage. Skepta is a Brit. French Montana. Is it Usher? Kimora, is she the former model? Guess who, guys? Rick Ross. They're all playing poker. What are they doing? Big GZ, we didn't get there yet. But who are all these rappers? Who are they? I love footnotes for this very reason. Okay, let's go back up. But I just saw all of those people. But notice that all of those names are redacted. Redacted 3, redacted 4, redacted 5, redacted 6, as well as redacted 7. And the only name that's not redacted is Cuba Gooding Jr. According to Grace, Cuba Gooding Jr. was extremely unpleasant to serve. He sat at the bar and made derogatory comments to Grace. He was visibly intoxicated, and she was in the room and witnessed him inappropriately touching Lil Rod, who was at the time working on the Love album. You guys remember that crazy picture of his arm around Lil Rod? So Tyrone is not only representing Lil Rod, he's representing Grace. And Grace is a witness that saw what happened to Lil Rod with the Cuba Gooding Jr. thing. This is so messy. As a result of the conduct, Diddy and Christian, Grace continues to suffer serious harm. All right. Now we're getting, those are the facts. Now we're getting to what she is suing for. We are now in for her first cause of action. Her first cause of action is assault against Christian. Grace realleges and incorporates by reference, as though set forth fully at this point, each and every allegation contained therein. On or around December 28th, Christian assaulted her by violently grabbing her, groping her legs, breasts, anus, and vagina. Okay, you know what? That is a typo. Shout out to you, Super Sleuths in the chat. I thought that she said that Diddy assaulted her. This looks like it is Christian. So I think it was on like page 10 or 11. Remember, I was all confused because it said S Combs instead of C Combs. It looks like that indeed that was a typo. So that's already not a good thing. But it looks like indeed that was absolutely a typo. He also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her neck, face, and hands. Prior to the assault, Christian also forced Grace to drink alcohol, which she now believed was laced with drugs. Christian exposed himself to Grace bearing his naked, erect penis, trying to physically force Grace to perform oral copulation. Grace was seriously bruised as a result of the attack. Grace did not consent to any of the SA or misconduct and was drugged/intoxicated by Christian. Although the aforementioned acts, Christian caused harmful and offensive contact with an intimate part of plaintiff's body as defined by the California Civil Code, Section 17085. Though the aforementioned acts, Christian caused harmful or offensive contact between the intimate part of the defendant's body and plaintiff's body as defined by Civil Code 1705. He's repeated that twice. How is that different? Harmful or offensive contact. Yeah. Body as defined. Intimate part of defendant's body. Okay, I see how it's different because these look 112 and 113 look like an identical sentence. That's what I was just trying to see. But it looks like he put the intimate part of the plaintiff's body and the intimate part of the defendant's body. So he's just trying to show that there was contact between these two bodies. I was very confused for a moment there. Sorry about that, guys. Back to 114. Although the aforementioned acts, Christian caused Grace imminent apprehension of harmful or offensive contact with the part of the plaintiff's body, and sexually offensive contact with the plaintiff resulted. As a result of Christian's conduct, Grace has suffered economic injury. That means money. All to the plaintiff's general, special, and consequential damage in the amount to be proven at trial, but in no event in less than minimal jurisdiction amount of this court. As a result, Christian Combs' above described conduct, Grace has suffered and continues to suffer great emotional distress and was prevented and will continue to be prevented from performing daily activities and obtaining full enjoyment of life. As described in this complaint, Christian's conduct was done with oppression, fraud, malice, warranting significant damages, including punitive damages. Talk about that for a second. What is she asking for? They're not telling you how much money they want up front. They're not. But they're saying we want some money, right? There are a specific type of damages when you go to court. You have punitive damages, damages that are designed to punish you. So we're going to put some extra money on there to punish you and stop you from doing this to anyone else in the future. Okay. Punitive damages. You have monetary damages. You have compensatory damages. So pay me back for something that I lost. In this case, you know that the money is coming, but they have not listed the amount of money. And ironically, I want you to look at this word, these words here. Obtaining the full enjoyment of life. This emotional distress was so bad that she is prevented from doing daily activities and obtaining the full enjoyment of life. This is a clause. Cassie might have had this in her complaint, but that's what you have to pay attention to when we're looking at how people are asking to be compensated. How do we make this right, court? Court, how are we going to make this right? I want some money for what I went through. How do you make it right? So that's her first cause of action. So the first thing that she is alleging here is the assault, and that is against Christian. What's the second thing that she's asking for? The second thing is battery. This is also against Christian. You know, this is something I learned in law school, and I was confused before I went to law school. There's a difference between assault and battery. Assault is putting somebody in fear and apprehension. Like, you know, before law school, I thought assault was actually the physical touching part. Assault is putting somebody in fear. Battery is the actual touching. Battery is the unwanted touching. Battery is the act of somebody else putting their hands on someone else, right? So the first part is the fear part that she's going after. The second part here is the actual, he hit me, he assaulted me, or not assaulted, battered me. Here's how. The plaintiff realleges and incorporates by reference as though set forth fully at this point each and every allegation contained therein. She is saying that on the 28th December 2022, Christian battered her by grabbing her, groping her legs, breasts, anus, and vagina. He tried to kiss her. All that's the same. Prior to the assault, he forced her to drink alcohol, which she now believes is laced, exposed himself. He seriously bruised her as a result of the attack. Grace did not consent to any of this misconduct and was drugged, although through the aforementioned acts, he caused physical and offensive touching. So again, they're bringing the California law up in there, and they're, you know, talking about how the connection between the plaintiffs and defendants' bodies took place. So I'm not going to go through that. But she is looking for general, special, and consequential damages. So again, money for what happened here. Same thing, emotional distress, daily activities, enjoyment of life, etc., etc. Okay, so she went for cause of action 1, assault. Cause of action 2, battery. The cause of action number 3, essay. I'm not going to go through the same thing because he's just going to repeat it. Here's what you did. Here is a law that you violated. Here's what we want, right? So I'm going to skip through that. The fourth one is premise liability. Those first 3 were against Christian. Right now, we are looking at Diddy himself. This is what she's suing Diddy for. Grace says Diddy leased, occupied, and controlled the yacht in which she was essayed in and battered on that date, right? Diddy had control over the staff. Diddy had control over the premises. Diddy had control over who he wanted on. He threw the parties. He had the sex workers on. He allowed fights to occur and nonstop illegal drug use and alcohol use. Diddy had a lease to give him control to do that for the entire holiday season and occupy the yacht in order to throw lawless parties and allow illegal activities to occur. Over the holiday season, Diddy used the yacht that he leased and had control over as a location for mayhem, including illegal prostitution, drug use, and reckless partying. Diddy was negligent in the use and maintenance of the yacht. Diddy allowed and encouraged people to board his yacht, including his son, to engage in drugs and reckless behavior while aboard the yacht. Grace was assaulted and battered by Diddy's son, Christian, when he forced her to drink a likely laced drink. violently grabbed her, groped her, exposed himself, and tried to force her to suck him off. Christian also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her, all those things. She was severely mentally, emotionally, and physically harmed while on the yacht. Diddy's negligence was a substantial factor in causing the harm because of failing to properly use and secure the yacht and for fostering an environment for drug use and assault. Through all that, again, they want general, special, and consequences damages for that failure to protect those on the yacht. Fourth cause of action is specifically on Diddy. Now, fifth cause of action. This one is also against Diddy for aiding and abetting. I want to see their argument here. Grace realleges everything said above. Diddy knew that an assault, battery, and SA was being committed and was going to be committed against the plaintiff because he encouraged and fostered an environment and culture to his son and his employees to do whatever they want with Grace and the other yacht staff. Gonna be honest, I do think this one's a little weaker compared to some of the others. Little weaker. Here's why. Aiding and abetting, those type of crimes, or at least towards civil action here, these type of actions against others, aiding and abetting, I think you need to have actual knowledge of the thing occurring. Diddy seemed like he was zipped out of his mind half of the time. And he needed people like KK to hide all the drinks. So Ellen or Wanda or whoever didn't see it, right? He seemed zapped all the time. So aiding and abetting, I think, is a tough one here, but that's just my opinion. Let's continue to see how they argue this out. Diddy provided the drugs and alcohol to be used to take advantage of many women on the yacht, including Grace. Diddy knew that Grace had been assaulted because he paid off the yacht captain after hearing of Grace's complaint related to his son. Okay, that's how she's saying it. She's saying that he knew because he paid the captain off. Diddy's conduct was a substantial factor in causing harm to, this is badly written, this is a typo. Diddy's conduct was a substantial factor in causing harm to Grace. It should have ended right there. Through these acts, Diddy caused Grace to an imminent apprehension of harmful and offensive contact with an intimate part of her body. Okay, same thing. General, special, consequential damages. Diddy's responsible. She has emotional distress. They need to pay. We need that money. Sixth cause of action, intentional infliction of emotional distress. I kind of explained that to you guys at the beginning, so I'm going to keep going. A lot of it is repeated, but it is the sixth thing that he had done to her. This one is against Christian. Scrolling through this. And then seventh cause of action is negligent infliction of emotional distress. This one is also against Christian. Same thing. You put me in distress after the fact and during the fact, and it was done negligently. All right. So we're going to skip through all of that. What does she want? Let's land the plane, everyone. Wherefore, Grace prays for a judgment against defendants jointly and severally as follows. 1, she wants compensatory, special, and general damages according to proof. She wants money for what she went through. She wants punitive damages and exemplary damages. She wants the court to add more money on top of that based off of what has happened. She wants the cost of the suit, pre-judgment, and post-judgment interest. That means she wants attorney's fees. She wants her attorney's fees paid. Somebody's got to pay Tyrone, and she wants them to do it. Such other and further relief as the court may deem necessary or appropriate. Here we go. We've got Rodney Diggs, Esquire, who's Grace's lawyer. Oh, wow. Interesting. We don't see Tyrone's name here. We see a Rodney. Okay. Wow. Ivy McNeil. This might actually be the California-based lawyer he's working with, because remember how I talked to you guys about Pro Vice at the beginning? You need someone in California if you're licensed as an attorney in New York. This is probably who is signing for it as the attorneys on the ground in California. The attorneys in New York, which is, I can see how they're connecting this. Tyrone's in New York because he's Lil Rod's attorney. But Tyrone is also working, because he's in New York, he has to work with an attorney in California, which is likely where Grace lives and where she's bringing this suit in. So he's probably working with this Rodney guy as another attorney, because it says attorneys for the plaintiff. So yeah, okay. It looks like they're working in partnership. And then lastly, this is just some stipulations back here, how they are sharing the information, things like that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it. Wow. What do you guys think? I haven't been in the chat since we were trying to guess what rappers were involved with this whole thing. But wow, I mean, I cannot make this up. I don't think any of us can make this up. I'm going to go ahead and catch up on supers, cash apps, things like that. Here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to drop the link to see if anybody is interested in coming up and talking about this case. I think it's interesting. We have several people that are suing Diddy, but this one is unique to Diddy's son. This one is unique to Diddy's son. So I'm going to go ahead and pin the link to the top if you're interested in coming up, and I'll go ahead and catch up on supers. 2 rules, you know what they are. Number 1, you got to make sure your camera's on. I need to be able to see and hear you. Make sure your audio, all of that is good. Number 2, I'm not as busy as lead, but just know if you come up, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to come up. It depends on the timing, things of the like. But I'd love to talk to a few of you guys. All right. So that is linked to the top if you are interested in coming up. All right. Let me go back to supers and catch up with you guys in the chat. I just, this whole thing is so crazy. But shout out to L. Willie, who, thank you so much, L, who says, keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You guys see me up here working. You see me up here working. We're trying to catch up with all the things that are happening, keep you up to date with all of these cases, and we'll go from there. Shout out to my fave, Candy Yates. She says, happy Friday, sis. Great job holding it together while reading this. I mean, some of it, like, I laughed. Essay is never funny, guys. Like, I laughed at some parts because I just cannot believe all that occurred on a yacht in 3 weeks. There's just so much of it. I just could not believe all of that happened. Shout out to Yoli Yo, who sends a $20 super sticker. Thank you so much, Yoli. I really appreciate that. Very nice of you. It's so crazy, guys. It is just insane. This case has been wild to read. We'll see how likely it is that they will settle. Lil Rod's got his stuff going on, and you also have all these other people that are making allegations as well. What money do they get? What money do they get from this, right? And how do you distribute it to all these people? I'm going to go to Cash Apps real quick. Shout out to E. Capone. Thank you again, Yoli. E. Capone sends me a $5 Cash App. He says, I like the pace of your show. You like it? You like it? Thank you so much, E. Capone. I'm glad that you like it. I try. I've got big shoes to fill. I got some big shoes to fill with the lead. So I'm trying my best. And then shout out to N. Saunders, who sends $30. She says, blessings. This is Natalie, aka the Legal Goods wife. Guys, check out the Legal Good if you can. When you have some time, type in the Legal Good in YouTube. He is an excellent content creator and an attorney down in Florida. And as you guys can see, he has a wonderful wife that is supporting his work and supporting not only me, I know she supports the lead as well. So it's great to see that we have our family members supporting us in this content creation journey. And it's always good to have great people out there supporting us. Janelle, isn't this a hot mess? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I read it. I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to try to find the Art of Dialogue's like video where they actually said that Diddy smacked his mama, and and it's Gene Deal. It's his former head of security saying that Diddy did this. And now to read this complaint, for Diddy to expose himself with his mother right next to him, that is insane. It is insane. But before I do that, the other thing I do want to mention, guys, is you guys know that I've learned how to do this live streaming thing from one person, and that is the lead attorney, right? I learned how to do this live streaming thing. It took a lot of time. I still make mistakes. I made a mistake today. I made a mistake yesterday. Like sometimes I do it and there are no mistakes, but it is not an easy thing to figure out. If you have been thinking about it, we always talk about it all the time. If you've been thinking about becoming a content creator, working for yourself, it's such an important thing. I announced yesterday, guys, that one of the things that I have decided to do is take the bar exam. I finished law school, finally going to take the bar exam, but I need the time and space to be able to do it. YouTube has enabled me to step away from corporate America to do it, right? And I really want to shout out the lead attorney for giving me an opportunity to build this platform to do that. But you can do it too. And I highly recommend his courses. I actually have a link in my description box that I'll be included where you can take advantage of the lead attorney's course yourself, get a discount. I think he still has that Fanny code that you can use if you've been thinking about it. But the cool thing is that you can say AV sent me, and I have my link, right? I have a special link where you guys can not only support lead and, get your hands on his course, you can also take advantage the way that I did and really have the freedom to pursue your dreams and other opportunities. Working for corporate America is not the funnest thing, right? It is not the funnest thing. So I'm going to go ahead and save that in the description section. And I am also going to pin it here. So if you guys are interested in the course, I'm highly recommending it. I'm co-signing it 1,000%. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that here as well. So I'm dropping the link in the chat for anybody that's interested. It's in the description box. I did see somebody in the back, but their camera was not on and I did not see audio. So I'm going to go ahead and not bring them up. And then lastly, I just saw another one come through. High value, man. Thank you so much. I mean, you are absolutely the stream sponsor at $500 now. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, High Value Man. He says, shout out to an awesome content creator. I mean, I don't have words for how generous you've been. And it's so hard, guys, to do this alone. Y'all know I have a partner in crime. It is so difficult to do this alone. And now I see why our dynamic is so great, because, he'll be pulling something up. I'll talk for a little bit. Like, we work together so well. But when you're doing it alone and you're speaking for like 2 or 3 hours by yourself, there's a lot of controls and stuff back here. Like, you've got the soundboard. I got a monitor on this side. I got a monitor on that side. We got to make sure all the sound works, all of that stuff. Anything can go wrong on a stream. So it's actually made me really value lead a lot more to have another person kind of helping in this effort. So you have no idea, High Value Man, how much this means to me. And I sincerely want to thank you for being the stream sponsor. If you guys could do me a favor and type in HVM in the chat, please type HVM in the chat. That would be huge. That would be huge. HVM, thank you. And the fact that a man is supporting this stream, it means the world. It totally means the world. Guys, I do have somebody in the back right now. They have followed the rules. They got the camera on. If I could see them, hopefully we can hear them. I'm going to bring him up. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Petty. Petty, how you doing?
What up, though?
How are you?
Another day in paradise.
There we go. There we
Glad
go.
to be on your stream, and I want to give big congratulations to you and all the things that you're doing. I
Oh,
watch you all the
thank
time.
you. Thank you, Petty. I see you in Leeds chat all the time too. So it's good to see you on my side.
Yeah, yeah. I be trying to catch you. Sometimes I be at work, so
Hmm.
it be kind of hard. So I at least get to look at you, and I don't get to respond too much. I do maintenance and stuff like that. So
Okay, gotcha. So you're able to like listen on as you're working, that sort of thing.
yeah, for sure. But,
Gotcha.
but yeah, your
Well,
boy
Petty,
Diddy is wild.
yeah, I was just gonna ask you, what do you think of this whole case? I could not believe all that was in this lawsuit, just this one.
Yeah, I mean, his seem like his son got more charges than he do.
Right.
That's the crazy part. And then I
Right.
was talking to somebody at the gas station just a minute ago, and I was like, man, I was wondering if he had any kids, and she was like, yeah, he got two daughters, twins.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I ain't never heard anything about them. And she was like, well, they used to dress provocative and all this other types. I'm like, well, that's different. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Dress provocative, that's making a statement, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But when you out here trying to force people to suck you off and all this other type crazy stuff, dog,
Yeah.
that's the next level of darkness, bro.
Right. Or bringing a bottle when the boat has liquor on it. Why are you bringing your own liquor?
Bro, I mean, it's just so many questions. And then it's like, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just go ahead and throw that out there. Ever since YouTube has started, I've been on different types of things. And I've heard back in the day that I don't know if this is true. This is all speculative, but that he had some type of dealings with somebody in the drug world, and they was breaking the cocaine down in the liquid, and he was putting it in the Ciroc bottles to move it to different states. So see, while
Wow.
we sitting here talking about him putting it in the liquor bottles for the women, just think about it on a grander scale.
Mm-mm-mm.
If he has any ties with anybody in the drug world, just imagine what has been going on, and he's been using his liquor company to facilitate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge allegation. I mean, and,
I
and
know.
Grace mentioned that here. She's just like a few times, she's just like, I know those things look laced because she was a bartender.
Yeah.
She was a bartender. That's so crazy. Do you
And
think how do you think she's gonna make out on this case?
mm, I think she just might get it.
Mm.
I think she just might get it. I mean, it's a lot of evidence out there, and I'm not sure whether or not they can. Well, if he's working with Tyrone, then I'm quite sure they able to share evidence.
Gotcha.
For,
Yeah.
for
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about it because I was looking at it. I was like, I saw that other lawyer's name at the end, and when we started it, it said that it was Pro Hoc Vice, so it means that they're in two different states. So he's not doing it alone, right?
right.
But and we also think about the raid. The raid happened in Cali, and it also happened in Florida.
Yep.
The plot thickens.
It's the rabbit hole, boy.
Oh
Once you
my
fall down, it
God.
ain't no stopping. It ain't like Alice in the Wonderland.
It's not. It's not. But Patty, listen, it was so good to see you. I'm happy you came up. You can come up anytime you want. And I'm so
Appreciate
happy to hear the love and see you on my side. But Patty, it was great seeing you. Enjoy your weekend.
Most definitely. Thank you so much. And congratulations again to
Thank
you. And
you.
like I say, I'm always here watching.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Petty, for all your support. Can't wait to see you again. Take care,
Shout out to
brother.
everybody in the chat. See y'all.
All right. See you soon. All right, guys. Wow. I mean, Petty had a good point because here's the other thing. I don't know if you guys know this, and I learned it by scoping out Diddy's Instagram. Do you know that Diddy has a baby? Like, there's a baby. He has another kid. It is like a new baby, and it's like with this Asian woman. And he's been posting her. He's been posting a lot of pictures of the baby. I think he calls her Baby Love. I forget what the baby's name is, but like there's a new baby. I'm like, wow. And he has the twin girls and then the sons, which we know about. So it's a little crazy. Well, I'm gonna bring up one of my favorite people that has been strongly supporting on lead side. She is amazing. I think she has a legal background as well. I'm gonna bring up the Lost Chicago girl. How are you?
I'm okay. I've been up since 6:30, suffering from allergies, sick
Oh
dog, blah blah blah.
no.
But yeah, I wanted
Wow.
to. Yeah, thank you. I'm really sunburned. I get to see this too, but uh, first of
Isn't
all,
it cold in Chicago?
well, so I'm a lost Chicago girl because I've lived in 10 states and I'm currently in New Mexico. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it.
but
Spend some time in the sun.
yes, but the weather here is been crazy. It was like snowing last weekend. Today it's 70 something, so
Mhm.
it can be cold here and then it can be warm here. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's been a little crazy the weather, and like I said, my allergies are I've never had allergies so bad until I moved here. It's been
Wow.
unreal. But
Chicago
anyway,
to New Mexico is a little crazy. But what do you think about this case? Diddy, his son, especially the son, like all these crazy yacht parties. What do you think about this?
with as close as he is to his sons, especially them being in the house, I'm surprised they weren't named so strongly in some of the other ones.
Hmm.
I mean, it sounds to me like they're all partying together.
Yeah, with his kids.
Yeah. So it seems like maybe people are thinking, oh, I don't know. I'm not saying people are out for the money, but
Hmm.
maybe they just didn't bother with that because they went for the big hitters in the other lawsuits, like
Yeah.
Cuba Gooding Jr. and,
Yeah, Cuba's in this one too.
oh, geez. I got here halfway. I'm sorry. I got
No,
here
you're
for this.
fine. He's named in this lawsuit too. And it's
Well,
the
well,
shenanigans never stop.
so with that said, maybe we'll see some adding to other lawsuits then, oh, hey, by the way, he did this too. Like maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
None of this surprises me. Honestly, I would like to see him go down. I don't know if that's going to happen
Mm,
because, and I don't mean I just mean in general. I'm not going to say where I'd like to see him go down. Just held accountable, whether that be with Homeland Security, with, lawsuit.
it's
I
a
mean,
separate
obviously,
investigation. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a criminal investigation. And these lawsuits that we've read are just civil complaints. This, I think, makes it 6 or 7 active
yeah,
complaints against Diddy.
yeah. And
Like
I,
7 lawsuits, 6, 7 lawsuits. It's
I don't
crazy.
think this is going to be the last one either.
That could be more.
But
Yeah, and I think Tyrone told Lead that there's a lot more coming.
oh, I'm sure.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if we hear from some big names at some point from
Right.
the other side of the fence. I mean,
Mhm.
it took a while for people to speak out against Harvey.
Yeah,
I
they were
mean,
trying to subpoena Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher, like
he's
it's
he's
insane.
he's got his hands in everything, isn't he?
He really does. He
And I
really
kind of
does.
grew up with him because I think we're only a couple of years. We may even be the same age, but
Mhm.
so I watched him from beginning to everything, and it's like, man, dude, thought you got married and had kids, and the whole Demi Moore thing was a little weird, but that was their marriage and whatever. Sorry, my cat wants to make a cameo.
You're fine. You're fine.
But anyway, yeah, he seems to be in everybody's everything, and I
Mhm.
was kind of. I mean, I know he did Punked. I don't know if you remember that show, but
Yeah.
so he had a lot of people in that show, of
He
course.
had the
But
little trucker hat. What was that brand? Von something.
oh, Von Dutch, I think it
Von
was.
Dutch. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
when I think of Ashton Kutcher, that's what I think of. So
that's
how
so
do you
funny.
think this is going to shake out with Grace? Do you think she is going to be successful in this lawsuit? She is one of many plaintiffs that have an active lawsuit against the Diddy family. How do you think this is going to shake out for Grace specifically?
I think if she does have some proof and shows it, I don't know if this is just like just a little dusting of, hey, we want to let you know about us too,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
if you don't fix this, and we're gonna let. I mean, you know, I, people carry cell phones at work,
They do.
and if she's got any sort of proof of anything, and maybe not even proof, I mean, depending on how he paid the captain. When you said that the captain was paid off, I was like, hmm,
Yeah. Yeah.
probably cash, because we can't track cash, can we? But no, but
Exactly.
I think he's smart to settle with all of them because it's I mean, I don't know for sure. civil cases, do they go to trial? Can they go to trial, or is it
Yes.
just
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
if so with that said, if he risks doing that, he would be wise just to settle, because I mean, I don't think you can find anybody, at least not even in America, but in other countries, that don't know what the heck is going on. I have a friend in England. They're
Mhm.
talking about it in England, like
Yeah.
messaging
The
each other.
UK loves to look at our drama across the pond. They're just like, what is happening in the US? Shout
Well,
out to all our people across the pond.
yeah, they're my friend over there and I, we talk about it. I'll ask her now. They don't know she didn't know about the Fanny thing, so I told her about that. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna look that up," because she knows the paralegal degree, and I'm like, no. If you want to know anything, I tell her, I'm like, go look at Lead or go look at AV. I told her actually to watch you guys.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you
but
so much, Lost Chicago Girl. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. It was amazing to have you up on my side.
yes,
I
thank
want to do
you.
this a lot more often. You know, you can come up
Oh,
anytime. Thank you
by
so
the
much. Go ahead.
sorry, I'm happy for you that you decided to take the bar. If you
Yeah.
didn't, I think I could understand, because
Yeah.
I know you're enjoying this and I know
Mhm.
the bar is hard.
Ugh.
But I just want to say, you know what, even if you don't do anything with it, just the fact of passing with it and having that is an accomplishment,
It's huge. It's huge. And it also helps here on YouTube. That's actually kind of why I want to do it,
I
you
had a
know.
feeling. I had a
Mhm.
feeling.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Anytime. And also I wanted an opportunity to thank you personally
Thank
for
you.
all the support that you give to me and Lead. You've been a huge supporter in our community. So thank you so
Thank,
much, Lost Chicago Girl.
thank
Take
you.
care of that sunburn.
Oh, I know. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. You too.
All righty. Bye now. All right, guys. Listen, I mean, she had a lot of good points. You know, bringing this to a civil thing is going to be huge. Diddy has so many civil cases against him right now. This is not the only plaintiff. Like I said, I think we are around 6 or 7. But let us keep it going. I'm going to bring someone else up. I see a name that scares me a little bit, so I hope it's okay. But I'm going to bring up Appalled. Appalled, how are you doing? Is it Chris? You're
How'd
muted,
you know?
Chris. You scared me. I'm like, are you appalled at me? How are
No,
you,
the
Chris?
situation.
Yeah.
So I agree with her. The point of Diddy paying the captain
Mm-hmm.
does mean that it is circumstantial evidence that he knew what was going on because of the timing of it.
Yeah.
But we get into the situation as if the captain is going to acknowledge it, because then now the captain has to say, yes, that's what happened. And now his captain license and his whole career is up for grabs. And is he going to jeopardize all that just to help this young lady's case?
Mm-hmm.
So him being
Yeah, it's
next to his
almost like,
mom,
yeah, wow, that was insane to me. I was just like, wow, next to your mother? Would you do something like that next to your mother?
that is, it goes to the, in my mind, I'm thinking of it in terms of he really thinks he's invincible.
Yeah.
He thinks he can just do everything underneath the law that does not apply to him.
Mm-hmm.
And in the cases of the word, or if this is alleged that he's an informant, this is the big distinction, is that when you're an informant, you're a resource for the FBI. Okay, you're not an employee that is undercover, that you're allowed more freedoms to crimes, that you're, how do I put this, the correct descriptive word, you're underneath circumstances and culpable by being in association in those situations that undercover agents get more protection under. But when you're an informant, just because you give information to the FBI does not mean that you're free from committing crime. And the only way to really stop him from doing this moving forward, in my eyes, is people have to speak up. It has to be something like a class action thing, or else he's just going to settle because money doesn't mean anything to him.
Yeah. Yeah, class action would be really hard because usually like class actions are centered on one action causing harm to like a big group of people. So you guys probably all get it. We all get it in the mail. Like we'll get those checks from like Bank of America or like a Chase or something when they make mistakes and they're like, here's your $2 check, because those are usually settlements from class action lawsuits where they might have an unfair rule or something like that. And then, you know, instead of going to war with millions of people that they've impacted, they just settle it out. They take this big pool of money, and then it gets divvied out. This would be a little hard for Diddy to have a class action because it would have to come from the same set of operative facts where, you know, look at this girl. Grace is on a yacht. She's working on a yacht. Even though Lil Rod has gone through all this other stuff, the only time that these two plaintiffs came into contact is when she saw the whole thing with Cuba, right? So, you know, it's like that's when they come together. But it'd be great if we could just take all of the Diddy plaintiffs and put them in a bucket and say, all right, Diddy, go. It's a class action. What are you going to do? But because they're all in different states and different times too. Sometimes some of these allegations come from the 90s. Some of them come from the 2000s, the mid 2000s. It's insane. It doesn't stop.
So that's why I think it needs that element of a class action. So, like, we just need the people to speak up, and that's really when we're going to get this to change, unless he's going to continue thinking he's invincible.
That's true. That's true. How do you think this is going to shake out for Grace specifically?
I think Grace is the burden of preponderance is on her.
Yeah.
If that is what's the case, then great. Judge and other attorneys are going to want the proof. If you have it, then you have it. If you're going to be basing sole on the fact of that employee coming into the room to speak up as a witness or witness testimony, if all your evidence is going to fall on people acknowledging that that's what happened, it goes to the captain. Is he going to say yes? It goes back to the employee that budged in when he was, I just learned this from you, not assault, but battering her.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. I taught you something.
Are they both felonies or are they?
They're not felonies. And in this, because this is a civil case, here's what happens. In civil cases, you have the concept of assault and battery on the civil side, but you also have criminal assault and battery. They're two separate types, because when you have criminal charges, you can go to jail for those charges. When you have a civil charge, that's actually what Grace is doing here. She's saying, hey, he assaulted and battered me. I want money as, you know, as like a result of my injuries. Whereas on the criminal side, there is no money. People just go to jail for their crimes.
So there's tiers that evolve on criminal assault and battery and tiers for criminal felony assault and battery.
There you go. Look at that. That's amazing. Well, listen, Chris, thank you so much for coming up. You can come up on my side anytime. I don't lock people out over here yet, you know, and it's also a little bit lighter because I'm smaller, but it was really cool to see you on my side. I also want to thank you for subbing to my content and being involved in the chat as well.
You're welcome. Great to be here.
All right. Well, take care. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, let us keep it going. Thank you so much to everyone that supported. High Value Man, thank you. I see that you have become a member on my side. Welcome to the community. You already are a pillar in my community. And I think I saw you ask a question as far as the bar exam. I have decided to pursue that. I may have to do that in another state and not in Georgia. So I'm still working through that right now. But yeah, I decided to take that move. You know, it's one of those things where it's like go to law school and not finish, or go to law school and actually make something out of it. So thank you so much for becoming a member, all of the support. And look who just popped in. Look who just popped in. It's No to the No. Wow. No. Thank you so much for popping in. He says No to the No is here. Good afternoon, AV7. If y'all could do me a favor and type no in the chat, please do that. No always brightens my day when he pops in. Huge supporter of me, of the lead attorney. I am so excited to see people like High Value Man and No on my side. You know, Lead's channel is a very men-centric channel. I've been co-hosting over there for 2 years. Like there's some topics he's like, I don't even want you involved in this one. Like the whole fresh and fit thing. He's like, listen, they've come for me before. So I don't want you to get any strays, right? But when I see like some of Leeds, like top supporters coming to me, like, oh my gosh, guys, it just feels so good. And it made me realize like I'm on the right path. You know, stepping away from corporate America to do this full time was one of the hardest decisions I needed to make. But it also encouraged me to be a solo entrepreneur and I have time to do stuff. I have time to take the bar exam now. No. Like, this is amazing. But, you know, to see strong, high value men like you on my side too, you know, supporting a men-centric channel, and you're coming to my side, like that is insane. I don't have words. I can't describe how much it means to me. You know, you guys are amazing, both the men and women that support me. Like, I love all of y'all equally. But no, I'm so happy you made it. If you could rewind and watch all the debauchery, I'm telling you, you will not regret it. You will not. There is so much in this Diddy case. Like, wow. In all the allegations against his son. No. Oh my God. Like, rewind it. You're going to see. It is crazy. But no, thank you so much for all your support. You've been supporting me all week, every single time I'm on Lead side. I can't tell you how much love I have for you and all the brothers that are in the chat. But thank you guys for shouting out no. All right, guys. Well, listen, I've been going for about almost 2.5 hours. I want to shout out another person. Shout out to no on the Cash App. No on the Cash App. He sends me $20. He said, "You better not leave. I'm not going anywhere. No. You guys are keeping my head in the game. You high value man, Viva, you guys are like, you keep your head in the game. Like y'all did it last week. I'm not going anywhere. All right. I'm on this platform. I'm going to be doing it as much as I can every week. You know, we're on a roll right now. Dropped a video this week, streamed yesterday, streamed today, streaming tomorrow, streaming on Sunday. I will be here, guys. And especially, I don't know if you guys saw Leeds Community Tab. He's going to be taking a little bit of time off. And I'm going to be holding it down. You know, I'm very much a huge supporter in his community. And part of my support for him is being here for y'all and holding it down in the meantime. So I'm so happy, no, that you're here. Thank you so much. I also want to shout out Drew Beads. Look at Drew. He says, if there were drugs in the boat, the captain is liable for drug charges. You know who would be liable, Drew? The company that owns the boats. Because the captain is an employee of the boat company. If the captain took the money personally that Diddy gave him, yes. But there's a concept in business law called respondeat superior. Basically, the employee pays for the crimes or the sins of, or the employer pays for the sins of the employee, right? They did mention that at the very beginning of this lawsuit. Let me see if I can show it to you real quick before we go. And then maybe I can jump back on that Gene Deal thing. But at the very beginning of this lawsuit, you see how it says Jane Doe's 1 through 10? And ABC Corporations 1 through 10. That means, oh, we're not looking at it. Oh my God, AV, this is like what happened yesterday. Here we go. Yes, it should be screen sharing now. So right here, it says Jane Doe's 1 through 10 and ABC Corporations 1 through 10. So that means that Jane Doe's 1 through 10 are 1 through 10 women that may be coming in addition to this crime. And it also, this civil lawsuit, John and Jane Doe's, let me just clarify. There are 10 people, men and women, that are going to be coming in and listed as defendants. Same thing, ABC Corporations 1 through 10. 10 corporations that they're planning on bringing in. Right now, we don't know the names of those corporations. And you guys have to remember, this document right now is a complaint. It was just filed. It was just filed last week on April 4th. So, you know, we are in the early stages of a lawsuit for this particular thing with Christian. You know, Lead and I last week, I think we covered Lil Rod's complaint, and we are just now starting to see documents come out in response to Lil Rod's complaint, because the defendants have a certain amount of time that they need to respond to this document, right? So we have to look at all these people. Also, just while I'm here, I do also want to point out, we see Tyrone Blackburn's name. Remember how I told you guys, pro hoc vice pending, right? Tyrone is in New York. Rodney is the main attorney on this case. He's probably the attorney in California. So I wanted to make sure that we pointed that out to you guys. Let me see if I could pull this up real quick. I do want to I want to have you guys laugh before we start the weekend. I want to show you Gene Dale's interview on the Art of Dialogue where Diddy smacked his mama, because here it is. It's a 4-minute clip. We can react to it together. I just could not believe this. I did shorts on it and everything. And Gene was just kind of talking about some of the alleged psychological issues that Diddy may or may not have, right? And so he talked about this way back in the day. You know, he talked about how this is how he knew that Diddy had an issue. But let's watch.
Have you spoke to anybody at Bad Boy since the news broke of Diddy and Cassie?
Well, I spoke to Kirk Barrows, and he told me some shit, bro. It's some things that I didn't even know about way back in the past. You know, like when the City College tragedy was going on and everything, and Diddy was on suicide watch.
Oof.
You know, Kirk Barrows was like, yo, man, I should have saw, he told me he should have saw this coming with Cassie and the way he treated women when he slapped his mother.
Oh my God.
And I was like, he did what?
I still can't
And
believe
Kirk
this.
Barrows said, yeah. I just thought because of what he was going through with the, you know, the tragedy, it was like, I was stuck on stupid for a minute, but he was like, yeah, I thought that he would grow out of it, or
He did not.
it was just because all the shit he was going through when he slapped his own mother. I said, Kirk, let me tell you something. I said, Kirk, don't you remember when I told you when he cussed his mother out? And I think it was even that, Kirk, when we was getting in the limousine, he cussed his mother out. He told his mother to stay out of his mofo business. And I told him, man, you ever talk to your mother? You remember that situation? He said, yeah. I said, Kirk, why you didn't tell me then that he that he slapped his mother? Because if you'd have told me to slap his mother, I'd have beat the shit out of him, Kirk. He was like, Gene, I thought he was, you got to realize he was just a kid, and I thought he was going to grow out of it and all the stuff that he was going through. I said, my man, that's a bunch of bullshit right there. You understand? Somebody should have whooped his ass way back then. When you do your mother like that, you don't care about no woman in the street.
You don't.
And he was like, I know, Gene, but he was just a kid. This came from Kirk Barrows' mouth himself. I was like, yo, that shit is crazy. Had I known that back then,
high introspect.
yeah, I wouldn't have worked for no dude like that, man. I wouldn't even F with him. I'd have told all the dudes in the same gang, and we probably would have beat the shit out of him when he came around. Nobody was going for no shit like that, man.
He slept his mom?
Bruh,
Shock.
according to Kirk Barrows, he was in a depression. His mother was trying to do something, and his mother was saying something, and the nigga slapped his mom. You know, I say, yo, and I know everybody gonna say, yo, why this shit coming out now in the whole 9 yards? This is a part of why he do the shit that he do to women. And people gotta understand that. This is the part of why he do the things that he do to women, bruh. Because if you do that type of thing to your mother, you know, I heard him curse his mother. I checked him on that. But had I known he put his hands on his mother, I don't give excuse me, sorry about that. I don't care what kind of thing that he was going through after the City College tragedy. Nah, it'd have been a real tragedy for his ass.
Yeah, that's wild, man. To put your hands on your mom, man. I don't know what to say about that, man. That's crazy, man. But speaking of Kirk Barrows, he did an interview with LA Times, and he said that he saw Diddy punch a female back in '94 at Bad Boy offices, to the point that they broke a coffee table and he had to break it up.
Well, Kirk Barrows would know, him being the president of Bad Boy at the time, and he cleaning up a lot of puff shit, you know what I mean? So if anything went down, Kirk Barrows would know, because Kirk Barrows would be the one that had to go in there and mediate and clean up all the shit that he would do. You know, but like he
Wow.
said that, you know, he thought Puff would grow out of this because he was so young, being in that type of field and having that kind of position.
I can't. Oh my goodness. Diddy is a piece of work, guys. He done. We've been talking about this man all afternoon. Wow. Shout out to Introspect, who says subscribe, liked, and set to notify. Always love AB's perspective. I'm glad you said that, Introspect. And guys, he actually just reminded me of something. If you have your notifications on, I want you to check them today. And here's what I mean. If you come to my channel after this video, go to the channel, and it's going to say that you're subscribed. Click on that button. It's going to say you're subscribed to all notifications, personalized notifications, some notifications, or I forget the fourth one. But here's what happens. Over time, YouTube will automatically put you on personalized. So, you know, I noticed last week, some of my lives, a lot of you guys were commenting saying, I didn't get notified. It's because YouTube automatically puts you on personalized. So do me a favor, check, okay? Check. 2 things before we go. 1, Mother's Day gifts. That was cute candles. Check out Chalkboard Candle. You will have an AV7 discount, 15% off site-wide. So even if you don't want it to say that was cute, all of the proceeds, not all, but a good portion of the proceeds where you buy something at Chalkboard Candle goes back to teachers that take care of our nation's kids. It's a great cause, and I thought it was a great way for you guys to put your dollars to a place that actually makes sense and that helps people. Okay, so when I do collaborations with brands, I was really excited to work with Chalkboard and just wanted to share that with you guys. We all scrambled to get Mother's Day gifts last minute. Here we are, middle of April, more than enough time to place your orders, get everything in the next week or so, and then you're good to go for Mother's Day. Just a tip. You're welcome. You're welcome. You'll thank me later. Also, if you are a aspiring content creator, you guys know how much love I have for the lead attorney. I've learned how to do this myself from him over 2 years, but a big part of that was his courses. Okay, there's an AV7 link below in the description box where you can get access to do the same thing. I've also pinned it here. Buy TLA's course. And if you use the hashtag or if you use the code Fanny, I think it's $250 off. So whether you get the beginners or the intermediary and you've been thinking about it, I'm co-signing this, do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. This has enabled me to take time away from work. YouTube is like my primary source of income, but it's not the only thing I do, but it has enabled me to be able to do that. I never thought I would need the channel to help me out for some time. And it is. It's literally changed my life. So I know I could do it for you. It helped me in an emergency situation, and I think it can help you guys too. So check out his course. You never know when you'll need it. You'll never know. Just to have it, you never know. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. It's been 2.5 hours, one of the longest streams. I'd set myself a goal to do it for 2 hours, and I did. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will be back this weekend. We may be doing a Trump stream tomorrow in preparation for Monday, tax day, where he will be starting the hush money trial. So I'm going to be covering that. If they stream the trial, I will be trial streaming. Okay, so we're going to be doing that. Sunday, Chandler Remington is joining me on the Courtney Clenny case. This is the white girl that lived in Miami, stabbed her boyfriend, and her parents helped her conceal evidence. It is a mess. I've been covering that case for a really long time, but Chandler is a legal YouTuber. She's taking the LSAT today, so we're going to see her on Sunday, aspiring attorney as well, sharp young lady. I've been wanting to work with her forever. So working on that, and then I'm trying to get Nate the lawyer, a few other people. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep the train going on this side. So listen, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. I will see you soon. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one. Bye.